Welcome to Game 11 of the 1973 Tom Seaver replay. Today, the New York Mets traveled to San Francisco to play the San Francisco Giants. I'm displaying the stats here for through the replay, as you can see. His actual stats: he was 5-3 through the replay, 6-2. Innings pitched, he's pitching a little bit more in this replay. Hits are around the same, earned runs, walks, Ks. ERA is a little high, home runs are the same. But he's been pitching well lately. Had a few difficult starts in the midst of, I think between games like 3 and 6. But he's been recovering pretty well, and let's move on. Wayne Garrett will lead off for the Mets here. We got Jim Barr throwing for the San Francisco Giants. He's a right-hander. Let's take a quick look at his record here. 11-17, 3.82 ERA, and 33 starts. First roll, he's a right-hander, 210 versus a righty. 1-1, fly out to left, 2-20. Fly out to left. Felix Mijan's the batter. 6-7 versus a righty. Ground ball, second base X. Second baseman is Tito Fuentes. He's a 2E6. He gets to the ball with a 15, 11 on a 6. Makes the play. John Milner. He's been sitting out quite a bit here, but he makes his comeback here for Game 11. He's a lefty. 2-5 versus a righty. Homer, 1-7. Fly out to left, 8-20. 12. Flies out to deep left. Jim Barr makes it through the first. 1-2-3. Seaver will be starting off against Bobby Bonds. .6-4 versus a righty. Fly ball, center field X. Center fielder is Jim Gosker. He's a 4E9. A 15, he makes the play. 16 on a E9. The center fielder makes the play. Tito Fuentes. Excuse me. Sorry about that. 210 versus a righty. Ground out to the shortstop. Gary Matic. .310 versus a righty. Single to center. Let's see if Matic can get a lead here. 6, no lead, so he'll stay at first. Willie McCovey's the batter. Nothing on the havoc. 2-4 versus a righty. Ground out to second base. So we move on to the second for left-hander Rusty Staub. .6-6 versus a lefty, fly out to right. Ed Kranepool, another left-handed batter for the Mets. 6-7, ground ball, second base X. Another ground ball to Fuentes. His range, he gets there on a 12, a 6. Makes the play. Jim Gosker, we haven't seen him much in this replay. The left-handed center fielder. 4-6, lefty, ground out to the second baseman. Ed Goodson will be leading off for the, let's move this over a little bit. Make an adjustment here. Ed Goodson will be leading off for the Giants here in the bottom of the second. .310 versus a righty, ground out to the pitcher. Gary Matthews. 4-8 versus a righty. Single one, line out to the 20. He lines out to the shortstop. Chris Spire, the shortstop for the Giants. 6-9 versus a righty. Ground ball shortstop X, that's Harrelson. He's a 1E16. Gets to the play. 8 out of 16. Makes the play. We move on to the third. Duffy Dyer. He hasn't been playing much the last few games. He might have been injured at this point in 1973. We are doing as played. So what that means is we're taking the actual lineups from these particular days and from these particular starts. And this actual game was played on May 29th of 1973. And as you can see in the upper right-hand corner, the score was 5-2. The Mets won this game. So, got Duffy Dyer leading off for the Mets here in the top of the third. .59 versus a righty. Ground out to the first baseman. Bar's perfect so far. Harrelson. 6-7 versus a switch hitter, so that means he'll be batting lefty. Ground ball second base X. Another play by Fuentes. He gets there. 10-13. 13 on a E6. Makes the play. Tom Seaver. 4-7 versus a righty. Single, 1-14. Single for Seaver. Breaks it up. We're at the top of the order. Wayne Garrett, the lefty, breaks up Bar's perfect 3 innings that he had the possibility of getting. 6-8 versus a lefty. Ooh, here we go. Triple. 1-5. Single 6-20. Single 2 stars. So Seaver moves to third. Garrett hits a long single. First and third, 2 outs for Felix Millan. Nothing on the Havoc roll. 2-4 versus a righty. So now we have a ballpark single chance. So let's go to San Francisco's ballpark. And Millan is a righty. San Francisco righties singles are 1-5. So if we roll a 1-5 into D20, we got a single. Otherwise, it's a line out to the shortstop. Lines out to the shortstop. That was a 12. Bar gets out of trouble. We move on to the bottom of the third. Dave Rader, Jim Barr, and back to the top of the lineup with Bobby Bonds. Okay, let's see what Rader can do. Okay. We got a 1-7 versus a righty fly out to center field. Jim Barr. Let's see. Oops. We got a 4-9. So bar hits righty. 4-9. Walk. So both pitchers were able to get on. Bobby Bonds. Nothing on the Havoc. See if Bonds can do something here. 6-4 versus a righty. Fly out center field X. That's another play to Gosker. 8 on a 4. That's a single. 9, 10 on an E9. All right, so single for Bonds. A single 2 bases, so Bar advances to third. We got the same scenario here that we had for the Mets. First and third, 1 out. We will do infield normal. We won't do the infield in here. Nothing on the Havoc. See if they can turn a double play. 4-7, switch hitter. Fuente's a switch, so he'll be batting left. 4-7, single 1-5, line out 6-20. 5, single 1 star. He drives in Jim Barr. Bonds goes to second. Gary Matic is the batter. First and second, 1 out. Nothing on the Havoc. Rallying by the Giants here. 5-5 versus a righty. Struck him out. Key strikeout for Seaver. Now we got Willie McCovey up. Let's see what his stats were in 1973. 266. Only had 383 at-bats. He must have been hurt. 29 homers, though, and 75 RBIs. That's the basic side if you've never seen Strat-O-Matic before. We're using super advanced rules. See the Havoc. Nothing on the Havoc. 2-8. Struck him out. Right in between a potential triple and a home run. Key strikeouts for Seaver. Still allows a run. The Giants are up 1-0 here. We move on to the fourth. Jim Barr pitching well. Milner had a nice deep fly to left field. His first at-bat. His return. 4-7 versus a lefty. Single 1-2. Line out. Ooh, single. He gets a 1 on the... So Milner's been hitting the ball well on his return to the replay. Stop. Nothing on the Havoc. 6-5 versus a lefty. Struck him out. At Cranepool. 4. Nothing on the Havoc. 4-8 versus a lefty. Ground ball first base beat. That's a fielder's choice. They make the play on Milner. Couldn't get the turn to double play. Cranepool's at first with 2 outs and Jim Gosker the batter. Nothing on the Havoc. 4-11. So that's a lefty. Ground out to the first baseman. Jim Barr pitching well here. The Giants have Ed Goodson, Gary Matthews, and Chris Spire for them in the 4th inning. Let's see what Goodson can do. Five 6 versus a lefty, struck him out. Seaver, ever since he's given up that run, turned it on here. Gary Matthews. 6-10 versus a righty. Ground ball shortstop X. We know that's to Bud Harrelson. He makes the play. 15 on a E16. Makes the play. Solid shortstop in Bud Harrelson. Chris Spire. 5-9 versus a righty. Struck him out. We move on. Seaver pitching well. Barr, as we know, doing a great job. Duffy Dyer, Bud Harrelson, and Tom Seaver. will be the batters for the Mets in the 5th. .211 versus a righty. Ground ball to second baseman. Fuentes makes the play. Bud Harrelson. 3-7 versus a righty. Struck him out. Seaver, who singled last at bat. We used a batter's card for the pitchers hitting cards. 6-12 versus a righty. Ground ball first base X. The play is to Willie McCovey. He's a 4E19. So 9. He makes the play, gets there. 11-12. Let's check his error. Makes the play. Nice play by McCovey. Mets will have the top of the order in the 6th. And we have for the Giants, we have Dave Rader, Jim Barr, and the top of the lineup with Bobby Bonds. Let's see what we can do here. .43 versus a lefty. Uh-oh. Diamond chance here. So here's some fun. Okay. So as you can see, we got a 4-3 versus a lefty. Diamond chance. Raiders' power is normal, not weak, so he still has the potential for a home run. We are in San Francisco. Raiders a lefty, so lefty's home run chances are 1-18 in San Francisco Park. So if we roll a 1-18, that's a home run for Dave Rader. Home run. Leadoff homer. Let's take a quick look at Rader's card. He had 9 home runs in 1973 with 41 RBIs. Fits one here. Jim Barr, the batter. 2-3 single. Jim Barr. Okay, we're at the top of the order here for the Giants. Bobby Bonds. What did he do in 1973? Well, batted .283, 39 homers, and 96 RBIs. He's the leadoff hitter for the San Francisco Giants today. Runner on first. Nothing on the Havoc. Bonds singled his last at-bat. 6-7 versus a righty. Struck him out. Tito Fuentes. Nothing on the Havoc. 6-6 versus a lefty. Struck him out. Seaver seems to rally here. .64 versus a righty. Fly ball center field X. That's again to Gosker. He's a 4E9. His range, he gets to the play. Let's see if he makes it. A 10 on an E9. Makes the play. Nice play by Gosker. So we go 5. Mets have the top of the lineup. Excuse me, I had to add 1 run here. We have a 2-0 game. Wayne Garrett's leading off for the Mets. Mets have had no effectiveness against Jim Barr. 3-5. Ground out to the second baseman. Felix Mian. 2-9 versus a righty. Ground out to shortstop. Milner seems the only one motivated today. .19 struck him out. All right, 1-2-3 inning for Jim Barr. Giants have McCovey, Goodson, and Gary Matthews. .68 versus a lefty. Fly out to center field. Ed Goodson. .28 versus a righty. Single. Gary Matthews. Nothing on the Havoc. 5-7 versus a righty. Struck him out. Chris Spire. .111. Ground out to the first baseman. So we are through 6. It is 2-0 San Francisco. The Mets haven't done much hitting. Mets have Staub for them leading off here, followed by Cranepool and Gasker. Just want to adjust this a little bit. There we go. .29 versus a righty. Ground out to second. Cranepool. .47 versus a lefty. Single 1-2, line out 3-20, lines out to second. Jim Gasker. 5-3 versus a lefty. Ground ball pitcher X. Bar is a 3-0. He makes the play, so no error chains. So he 1-3 for Bar. Look at Bar. 2-0 game. He's shining here. Dave Rader will be leading off for San Fran. .15 versus a righty. Walk. Barr's going to put down a sacrifice. His bunting is an A. So we have an 11. Corners in. So it's a 1-2 count. So its count is 1-2. Let's see. We have a 1-2 count. Barr's still going to attempt the bunt here. 8. Sacrifice. Successful sacrifice. Raider goes to second. Bonds is the batter. Havoc roll first. Nothing there. Again, we have a 2-0 game. Bottom of the 7th. Bobby Bonds the batter. 1-5. Single to left field. Single to left. Bar doesn't have a run rating. Not quite sure what to do there. We will move. Oh, excuse me, Raider. Hold on, Raider has a run. Apologize for that. Raider's run rating's a 9. Actually, he's going to stay right there. Not too good of a runner, Dave Raider. So we'll keep him at third. Nothing on the Havoc. First and third, 1 out for Tito Fuentes. 6-9 versus a lefty. Ground ball shortstop X. So we have the infield normal because we have first and third, 1 out. 1E16 for Looks like we might be getting a double play here unless we get an error. 11 on a 16. Nice double play. Harrelson turns to double play. Gets him out of the inning. Fuentes grounds into a double play. Giants still up 2-0. We all know how Jim Barr is pitching today. Duffy Dyer will be leading off. Harrelson and Seaver. Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for Seaver. 6-7 versus a righty. Ground ball, second base X. Fuentes. Range gets there. 11 on an E6. Makes the play. But Harrelson will be the batter. He just made that nice play, double play to get out of the inning. 3-4 versus a righty. Potential ballpark single. 18, no, lines out. Seaver's the batter. We are going to have to get a pinch hitter for him. We will bring in Cleon Jones. See if he can do something. Seven versus a righty. Ground ball, second base X. Another one to Fuentes. He's been making everyone today. 5 on a 2. He gets there. 16 on a 6. Oh, doesn't make, he boots it. Runner on first. Due to the Tito Fuentes error. Wayne Garrett's the batter. Nothing on the Havoc. See if Garrett can get a rally here. 1-6 walk. One more batter that reaches, and we will have a fatigue status for Barr. Giants have someone thrown in the bullpen. 6. Felix Mian. 5-3 righty. Ground ball pitcher X. Barr is a 3-0. He gets there and no error. So Barr makes the play. We move on to the bottom of the 8th. Giants will need the Mets will need someone for Seaver, as the Giants have Gary Matic leading off. They will bring in Buzz Capra. Seaver goes 7. Capra. 6-5 versus a righty. Double. Right, a clean double right off Capra's card. Jesus, not off to a good start. Willie McCovey. 1-7 again versus a righty. Ground ball, second base A. 4-3. Maddox will move over to third. McCovey does his job. Moves the base runner. We got a lefty, Goodson, up. Let's bring in Tug McGraw. Lefty on a lefty. Capra pitches .1. McGraw. Try to get it out here. See what Tug can do against Goodson. Nothing on the Havoc. 2-9 versus a lefty. Ooh, right in between. Fly ball left. Oh, let's see if he gets him in. Fly ball left field B. So we got to check the arm. Okay, so on a fly ball left field B, Matic is a 16 runner. Cranepool is a +4. Then you also get an adjustment of a +2, so he scores. Sacrifice by Goodson. 3-1. 3-0. Matic is the batter. 112 versus a lefty, strikeout out. It says strikeout plus injury, but we're not going to do any injury calculations. We're doing as played, so the actual real life injuries that come out, they'll play their part. We got to keep Jim Barr in there. The fans want it. He's got Milner, Staub, and Cranepool. 3-6 versus a righty. Ground out to first. Rusty Staub. 2-4 home run. 1-18. Double 19-20. Home run by Rusty Staub. Whoa. Let's see what Staub had. 15 home runs in 1973. He makes it a 2-1 game. We're going to see what the San Francisco Giants have in the bullpen here. See who their closer was in 1973. We're going to bring in Randy Moffett. He looked like their closer back in 73. He is a righty. Barr goes 8 1/3. Cranepool will be the batter. Moffett will be the pitcher. 4-6 versus a lefty. Ground out to first baseman. One more out, and we have a final of 2-1. Gosker's the batter. Moffett. 5-2 versus a lefty. Pop out to second base. All right, that does it here. Oh, excuse me. 2-1. Jim Barr was the player of the game with the win. Seaver with the loss. Let's check Seaver's stats. He pitched 7. He gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits in 7 innings. 1 home run. 2 earned runs. Two walks. And strikeouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 strikeouts. So that brings Seaver's record down to 6-3. So it kind of matches his 73 record because he won this game and brings his actual record up to 6-3. So we're at 6-3 after 11 games, and we'll see you at the next one.